style. It's a clashing of styles in a way. Just how do the teams match up, and how different is it?
As different as night is today, honestly. I saw something today, interesting statistically. We're the 10th rated scoring offense, and they're the 10th rated scoring defense. And we get around 77, 78 a game, and they give up like 55, 56. So it's a huge swing in styles. A lot of it is based on what you said, ball control, tempo. I don't want people who haven't seen them play to get the misconception that they're not going to push in transition. They will. But they're a score early, score late team, meaning if they don't get something in transition, they'll get a lot of ball reversals. They play probably 8 guys the majority of the time, and 7 of them are all threats from behind the three-point line. So we'll have to get extended. A lot of the stuff they do just based on personnel is somewhat similar to Florida, believe it or not, in that when Eric Murphy's in the game for Florida, they can really stretch you because they're so proficient offensively, and Wisconsin has some of those same characteristics.
Andy, when you look at the NCAA and the refs, is there any worry there with Marshall Henderson, maybe that they might try to make an example or anything in the tournament?
You know, there's always a worry with Marshall Henderson. We don't have enough time to go into all my worries about him, but I don't really spend a lot of time. You know, I've talked to him. We've played, 34 games now? Is he going to change in game 35? Probably not. I'm going to try to make sure that he's focused and that his energies are channeled as best I can.
Andy, with the tournament having been a goal for so long, do you guys have to battle the happy to be here as first-time guys in the tournament?
You know, I don't think so. We'll find out. I don't want them to. This team doesn't play well when it's tight, so I certainly want to avoid that. And I certainly want them to enjoy what they accomplished. And we had a good day Sunday. Yesterday, hopefully it's starting to wear off a little bit, so we realize, man, we've got to get prepared for a very difficult challenge, and we'll start that today. I think that our guys will be excited about the opportunity. And, you know, for those 3 seniors, they know when that buzzer sounds, and if we come up short, it's over. And with that comes a real sense of urgency. And I think they'll grasp that, and I hope that we play with the same kind of enthusiasm, same kind of focus we did in Nashville.
Andy, just looking at the numbers, they don't give up very many three-pointers at all. What do they do that denies people that shot?
Well, they're vintage pack line. By that I mean they're going to put pressure on the ball, and they're going to have 4 guys in the lane. They're long, they're athletic, they're interchangeable in a number of positions. I'm sure that they're going to try to chase our guys off of that 3-point mark. But, you know, Marshall's so unusual in that, you know, everybody has tried to keep him from getting shots. Some have kept him from making shots, but no one's kept him from getting them, except me. And I sit him over there to try to teach him a lesson, and after about 30, 40 seconds, I hope the lesson's learned because I want him back in the game.
With Eric Murphy in the last game, he didn't burn you as a stretch for one of the first times all year. What was different? What did you guys do different to limit him?
Well, we tried to make sure that we stayed attached, and we switched our ball screens. That was the biggest difference in the way that we approached the first game with them as opposed to our rematch. We switched our ball screens. And when Snoop was playing the point, one of the things that we were limited in offensively is our package. Quite frankly, he doesn't know all the plays from the point. I'm not sure he knows all the plays from the 2, the 3, or any spot, but he certainly doesn't know from the point. So we had to limit what we were doing. But defensively, he's 6'6" with length. And so now all of a sudden, you know, it gives you a little more versatility. Early in the game, they rolled us in the post, and they caught Marshall behind a couple of times, and they even caught Derek a couple of times behind. And then we started making some adjustments in front of him in that post and did a better job of it. And we didn't give him many easy looks. I thought Murphy was tremendous in the game from an offensive standpoint. Rebound, I think he had 23 and 10, kept us in the game. First half, made some plays going right for maybe the first time in his life, and it was a good time to do that. But defensively, it was as locked in as I've seen him really over the last 4 or 5 games, and as a result, I think our team has been much better defensively. And then we were hoping, again, day 3 of a tournament for a jump shooter. We wanted to make sure he had contested looks, and it worked.
You talked about yesterday on the teleconference about having hands on Marshall 24/7. Talk about the support staff. How much credit do they deserve for just things in general behind the scenes to get to this point?
Well, not only with Marshall, you know,
Yeah,
with all the guys, just, you know, trying to get to this point, you know, people, it would scare them to death if they knew how much time and energy went to just fielding a team. With Marshall, obviously, you know, everybody now is so super sensitive to everything he does. In preparation for Wisconsin, obviously, I've watched a lot of tape in the last 48 hours, and I'm not going to call out any particular players, but there's a lot of guys that play with emotion, and justifiably so. This is college athletics. This is the big stage. You want to have fun. This is a game. You know, Marshall was the first to always say that. This is a game. But with him, and again, sometimes he crosses the line, no doubt, but with him, everything has gotten to be so super sensitive that there's a bit of overreaction in a lot of ways.
How's Jarvis?
We don't know yet. You know, when you have a concussion, you have to go through these baseline screenings. Don't ask me to explain because I don't know. But at the end of the day, the doctor will say, hey, he's ready for physical activity. He won't practice today, but our hope is that he can start undergoing physical activity, running, moving, sweating, elevated heart rate, to see how he responds to that, so that we can get him practicing prior to throwing him out, you know, against Wisconsin first time on Friday morning. He's responding well, though. I'll find out here soon as to what he's been able to do today.